Growing up in our strictly traditional, small Appalachian town, every girl knew the drill. By 21, your life was handed over to whatever local, older businessman your father picked to settle a debt or build a network. Most girls just nodded, smiled, and accepted their fate. But my older sister, Roxy, she was different. She had this untamed, wild streak that terrified our parents. I remember when our dad tried to force her to drop out of school to learn household duties. The next morning, she swapped his favorite engine oil with maple syrup, completely ruining his prized pickup truck. Dad beat her till his arms were tired, but through the tears, Roxy just spit on the floor and whispered, "Next time, it's the brake lines. Hissa do, shadi ki baat aur planning." When she turned 20, Dad shook hands with Miller, a ruthless 50-year-old sawmill owner who had already run 2 wives out of state. Miller was a bully who loved control. On his first visit to our house, he tried to pin Roxy against the kitchen counter. Roxy didn't even scream. She just grabbed a boiling hot cast-iron skillet off the stove and pressed it right against his forearm. Miller backed off, howling in pain, and immediately broke off the deal. Furious, our dad decided to marry her off to an even worse man, a notorious, cruel landowner from the next county over. The night before the wedding, Mom and I snuck into Roxy's room, crying, offering her $5,000 in cash to run away to Chicago. Roxy looked at the money, then looked at me and gave me that exact same cold, wicked smirk she had right before she ruined Dad's truck. She said, "Keep the cash, sis. I'm not running from anyone." Hissa teen, climax or aunt. At dawn, instead of putting on her wedding dress, Roxy snuck into Dad's gun safe, grabbed his 12-gauge shotgun, and climbed onto the roof of the town hall. She fired 2 loud blasts into the morning air, waking up the entire valley. As the town gathered below, screaming at her, Roxy pointed the barrel straight down at the crowd. "Listen up!" she yelled, her voice echoing off the mountains. "I am not marrying that old monster. If you want me off this roof alive, you're going to marry me to Leo instead." She pointed the shotgun right at Leo, a sweet, quiet 20-year-old mechanic who worked down the street and the only guy who had ever shown her actual kindness. Leo's face turned bright red, completely stunned. Dad, terrified of the public embarrassment and the loaded gun, swore on his life to change the arrangement. 2 days later, Roxy and Leo were officially married, and they packed up and left town like a house on fire, completely on her terms.